New York, from Captain America, Spider-Man, and Thor to the X-Men, Marvel's iconic pop culture superheroes all have had pivotal moments when they were brought to their knees, seemingly beyond all hope of salvation. So it was too with the comic book giant, which went from the pinnacle of the industry in the 1970s and 1980s to bankruptcy, scandal, talent defections, and all-out war among its investors in the 1990s. Its hubris? An obsession with profit over what the Marvel Empire had come to be loved for, telling stories that served its fans. And like all good yarns, this one had its villain. The owners of Marvel became progressively less knowledgeable about and less interested in the comic books, said Mr. Sean Howe, author of Marvel Comics, The Untold Story. They weren't in it for the long haul. They wanted to make as much money as they could make right now right here, and damn the consequences, as former sales director Lou Bank put it. The story of how the New York-based company reinvented itself in its darkest hour, and fought its way back to the top of the entertainment world with a risky gamble on movie blockbusters, is told in the new season of Inside the Storm, Back from the Brink, a series about legacy companies that have rebuilt themselves from near collapse. Superheroes with problems. The tale of the company that, as former group editor Danny Fingeroth put it, revolutionized the superhero comic, began as a pulp fiction publisher known as Timely in the late 1930s, when the superheroes people know today were born. Its rival DC Comics started out well ahead in the game. Marvel was always the second-place company. Superman and Batman at DC Comics were the industry standard, and Marvel was sort of the scrappy other player, said Mr. Howe. Timely found success when the United States entered the Second World War, and the publisher's creation Captain America struck a chord with soldiers and their families. But the golden age of comics was followed by a movement against gore in comic books, and by the 1960s Marvel, as Timely had become, struggled to stay afloat. Once again, the company found inspiration from DC Comics, which had thrown together its most popular characters into a single group, the Justice League, which became a surprise hit, and a film now showing in cinemas. Marvel's response was the Fantastic Four, heroes who had not only superpowers, but also problems readers could relate to, which broke with superhero conventions of the day. What set Marvel apart, said Mr. Fingeroth, who wrote and edited some of the company's stories from 1977 to 1995, was that the comics gave you a depth of characterization where people could work together but not like each other, or like each other but be angry at each other, or quit the team. As far as comic books go, that was fairly unprecedented. In 1962, Marvel strayed further from comic conventions when it ushered in the rise of the teenage superhero with Spider-Man, who became the most popular comic hero since Superman. Marvel's biggest innovation, however, was just round the corner. Top, under, dog.